Let's do this with the Buccaneers here. This is a come-to-Jesus game for them. This is a football game that they have to figure out if they're real or not. Okay? Of course you see a blowout. You haven't blown anybody out, John. I'll tell you, this is going to be one of the best football Fridays in recent memory because yours truly covers both teams. We cover the Eagles and we cover the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we're not doing this from 35,000 feet. We're going to give you honest preparation for this Sunday's game between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm really jacked up about this game. Brady's in the house. It's a Fox #1 game. It should be. It's going to be like the first really true big game of the year. I would say the Ravens and the Bills were the first game of the year that was kind of with significance. This one here in the NFC is also going to be, and I got to hand it to the Eagles here. I mean, Rams last week, they're a contender too. They're still a contender. And now you've got the Buccaneers who roll into this game banged up, but again, I'm not sure where you are, but I know kind of who you guys are. So hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. Week 4 of the NFL kicked off last night. And I got to say, the reclamation projects in the NFL are unbelievable nowadays. If it doesn't accentuate organizations letting quarterbacks down, Sam Darnold is one of the poster childs, and so is Baker Mayfield this weekend. John, you're damn right. There's no excuses, and I don't want to hear shit about injuries. It's part of the league. It's part of winning a Super Bowl. Injuries? Okay, reasoning, whatever you want to call it, whatever. You've never heard me in my time talking to all of you here ever said you won that game because that team was hurt. You've never heard me say that. That's part of it, man. If you don't prepare for that, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. Plain and simple. There's no excuses. Hey, you're 1-4 versus the Bucs. Like it or not. Whether Brady's the quarterback, whether Mayfield, whatever. AJ's in, Wirfs is out, Lane's out. I don't care. It has no significance. None. By the way, none in this game on Sunday. One thing, though, about 23-20 last night, Seattle's good. Hey, you want to hear something crazy? You guys played the Rams last week, right? And now you're playing the Bucs down in Tampa. Hey, right after this game, the Bucs have to go fly to Seattle and play them up there. This is a big game for both teams. A big game for both teams. You got Denver on the other side of this too, by the way, right? Denver's not a bad football team. They got one of the best defensive units in the league. That's going to be a cool test. You got that, fortunately, at Lincoln Financial and not having to go up to Denver. Hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. We appreciate you guys. 2-3-0 football teams. They kick it off on Sunday at 1 o'clock. By the way, Chip won to the Buccaneers. You guys are making way too much of the heat. You make it way too much of the heat. Now get this. So like Jordan Davis yesterday was in a sauna. You guys were hydrating all week at the beginning of the week. It's counterproductive you jump in the saunas to dehydrate yourselves for a Sunday football game on Thursday. Who's your sports science guy? Whoever is making these decisions is a fucking buffoon. Whoever over at the NovaCare Center is deciding this is a fucking idiot. And the coaching staff for telegraphing it too, you're fucking idiots. I mean, get this. You know where I got that from? Hey guys, if I just read that, I would have went, I don't know if I believe that. So Tim McManus is reporting this. Besides traveling a day early to Tampa, Eagle players are getting an extra sauna time to prepare for the heat. Jordan Davis said during an interview on Thursday, there's probably like 15 guys sitting in the sauna as we speak. What the fuck are you talking about? Take it from a guy who played in that heat and prepared to play in that heat. If you didn't do your hydrating at the beginning of the week and you're dehydrating yourself by the end of the week, I've never heard of the thing. I have never heard of that in my entire life. Never. Hydrate, dehydrate. You're not prepared for that. It's in your head. And then the coaches telegraph it. That's not a good look, dude. Hit the like button here. All right. Look, that's not going to be the determining factor, I don't think, in the game, but it's clearly something that the Eagles are concerned about. You know why? They're emphasizing it. They're doing it. Nobody else is doing it. Bucs play and practice in that shit. They're going to be prepared for that. The Eagles, in my opinion, are not prepared for the heat. You're concerned about it, and you're ill-prepared for it. And, I mean, Jalen Carter's not in the best shape is right now anyway. Okay, so again, who advised them on that? Look, that's not going to be the tipping point here in this football game. All right, so do me a favor, guys. Give me some scores on what you see for this game on Sunday. I like to do this all the time on a football Friday. Then I'm going to tell you my prediction, and I'm going to give you what I think ends up happening in this game. Give me some scores in this football game. Where do you think this game is going to be? I believe it's 3 points, 3.5. The Eagles are favored going into this game. So Abe's got 34-21 Eagles, 28-20, 38-14, 28-24. Okay. Who else? Big Mike, 35-24, 25-22. And I see somebody with brains here. 28-23. Hey, Xander, can I get Kyle's super chat, please? I just missed it. I see writing the Bench Eagles podcast, 26-24. 27-24 from Angelo. So, Kyle, your super chat. Sills, I've learned working in a dry department where it's usually 80+ degrees. You got to pace yourself or you're going to be out of gas in 3 hours. That's correct. No question about it. Absolutely true. Here's what I see happens in this game, and here's my prediction. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. I think this is going to be a hotly contested football game. Pardon the pun. I think both teams going into this game, there's a lot of pluses, there's a lot of minuses. Now, Tristan Wirfs is playing. Means what? That means two other players go to their natural positions. You get to move the guy who's been out of position to right guard, his normal position, left guard, and you get to move Graham Barton back to center, where he's going to be taking on Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And Wirfs is going to be out on his left side. Charlie Heck will play the right tackle position. They miss Cody Mock, who's lost for the year, no doubt about it. When intact, that group's one of the better units in the NFL, and they probably have the second best bookend tackles in pro football next to the Eagles with Luke Gedeke and with Tristan Wirfs. There's an advantage here for the Bucs because your edge rushers are not very good. They're just not very good. And now that you've lost Nolan, you were in need of an edge heading into this game before Nolan Smith. So you're not very good at the edge. You're very good up front at the tackle position and interior. That's why Graham is being put back inside. All that being said, You've given up 135 yards a game. That makes you're 24th against the run. You're not playing well against the run. It's not the tackle positions, it's the edge. They can't set the edge. Okay, so the Eagles go into this with Jalix Hunt and Zadarius Smith. Those are your edges. And with Josh Uche as a backup, I'll take that matchup all day long. That's not very good. I mean, and I probably think that they're going to put Zadarius Smith because of what the weather's going to be. And by the way, it's supposed to be rainy and humid on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So they're probably going to put him on a pitch count. Now, follow me through here on this. I think the Buccaneers, again, are going to be able to move the ball. Bucky Irvin and White are good running backs. You've not done well stopping the run. The key is going to be, I think, Baker Mayfield continuing to move the chains with his legs. Here's the problem. Just so you know, Baker Mayfield hasn't practiced the last 2 weeks, or excuse me, the last 2 days. Why? He got hit in that Houston game in his bicep, and they have kept him out precautionary reasons because they know he's taken a load of hits. I'm telling you, man, Jalen Hurts has taken a shitload of hits. Mayfield's taken more. I saw him coming out of that Houston game. He was walking like he was a 65-year-old man. He took a pounding in that game. And he's doing something that he hasn't done in his career. Instead of throwing the ball into tight coverages, he's taking off and he's running. But it's doing it at a cost, and that's his health. He's a banged-up quarterback heading into this football game. So if I'm Vic Fangio, I want to put a hat on this guy as many times as I can make. Every time that guy, get as many hats rallying to the ball and hit that guy and tenderize that guy by the fourth quarter. He is really banged up heading into this game. He's taking a shitload of hits because he's not throwing the ball into tight windows. He's moving the chains the same way that Patrick Mahomes did in that Chiefs-Eagle game. Now, I think they're going to do this in this game too. I think they're going to take a little bit of what happened in that Chiefs game, and I do believe that Vic is going to blitz Mayfield a lot in this game. Here's why. If you don't have Mike Evans, who commands the double teams, that means Emeka Egbuka has got to take those double teams on. You know, he's a first-year player. He's learning how to fight through double teams. He's learning how to get free and get off the line of scrimmage. And the quarterback that has held the ball the least in the entire 3 weeks of the league has been Baker Mayfield. He's number 2. Why? Because the O-line has been musical chairs. So I think Vic Ibuka's good. Sterling Shepard, the old Giant guy, I don't know. I don't respect that. No disrespect to him, but that guy's not moving the chains on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm got to bring pressure, and I've got to get to Mayfield. I don't want Mayfield sitting back and having developing routes to get back to my secondary to find a Dory Jackson and that shitty play of Reed Blankenship. Vic's got to blitz more because you know why? You've got one sack in the first 3 games. You're one of the worst pass rushing teams in the league. You haven't got home. Okay? I mean, and the pressure's been limited. Every quarterback has sat back there and has had a high completion percentage. Every single one of them. They've been able. However, you haven't gotten home. And if you let these quarterbacks find Reed Blankenship and Adoree Jackson, and you let those routes develop, I think you're going to be in trouble. So to me, I think Vic's going to do exactly what he did, a little bit, not as much, because they have a better running game. They got Bucky Irvin who can catch the ball, so you're not going to bring as much pressure that you did in the KC game. So you got to be sporadic and pick your moments when you're going to do this. So again, this is going to be a chess game here. So I think Vic's going to bring the pressure. If the Buccaneers are going to move the sticks, okay, if they're going to move the sticks, it's on Baker Mayfield's wheels because he's the guy that's not going to be defended. Okay? They've got good backs. They've got really good backs. White and Irving can play. And you get 3 dudes in the initial offensive line back to their normal spots. My question, conditioning-wise, with Tristan Wirfs, what kind of shape is he in? Now, he was full practice yesterday. So he went full practice. I think Chris Godwin now is going to be a game-time decision. I hear he's playing. But again, how effective? He really hasn't had any training camp, mini camp, OTAs since the Ravens game a year ago. How much is he really going to be available in this game against the Eagles on Sunday? I think it's limited. 15 to 20 plays. It'd be hard pressed for me to think that he's going to play north of 35 plays. I just don't believe it. Okay? I don't. Now, on the other side, Kevin Patullo versus Todd Bowles is scary. What's your excuse for your offense not hitting on all cylinders? You got one guy out, Mekhi Becton. Why aren't you not playing? I still think the Philadelphia Eagles are finding themselves. I do, as a unit here, and I think Kevin Patullo, and by the way, I think the Eagles and Kevin Patullo are still struggling to find out and get on the same page. A.J. Brown has mentioned it all week long, that they're not communicating. The players are over here. He's over here. Why? Because it's a mentality. You're not changing in who you are. Why would you? You're going to do everything you've done for the last 20 ball games. You're not changing because of 2 quarters and because of desperation. That's not going to be it. Now, the Bucs secondary, in my opinion, especially at the corner positions, remember something. Jason Light, the general manager of the Bucs, they came back and they looked at Jamel Dean and said, we want you to take a $9 million pay cut because he was coming off a bad year. He had a pick 6 return a week ago against the Jets. They're not really great at the corner position. This Benjamin Morrison kid looks like he's going to be good. Winfield is playing out of his mind. He's a second-rated safety in pro football. He is a good football player. Okay, so the question for me is Hassan Reddick going to get home? You know, outside of that Atlanta game, this guy's been Casper the Ghost. Remember how I used to say this? Hey, that guy's face should be on a milk carton. Well, his face is on a milk carton the last 2 weeks. Atlanta, he was good. Now, I haven't seen him in 8 quarters. And without Kalijah Kancey in the middle, I don't know where you're going to generate the pass rush. Here's the secret to the game. But again, you don't utilize it. If you look at the worst pass defensive linebacking core in pro football, you know who it is? It's one of them is the Bucs. They struggle at defending the middle of the field with their backers. Well, you don't throw to the middle. This is Dallas Goedert game. Dallas Goedert should have 7 catches for 125 yards. And this game would be 39-10. But they don't do that. They're going to win their way. The Bucs struggle at defending tight ends. They struggle at it. Okay? Their linebackers are not very good at coverage. They're great against the run. They're 6th when it comes to run defense because they have that horse in the middle, Vita Vea. Okay? I mean, I happen to agree with this. Father Time has caught up with him. This is his 15th year. I mean, he's been a great player, and he's going to knock on the door for the Hall of Fame. But he can't cover a linebacker. He can't cover a tight end right now. They struggle with this in covering a tight end. Now, for me, this is a Dallas Goedert game. But they're not going to go there. That's not their mentality. They're going to come into this ball game, and they're going to try to establish the run. because everything they do is based off of the run game. Everything. They catch themselves with their pants down because they don't have a versatile play caller. He doesn't have the creativity. And by the way, Kevin Patullo versus Todd Bowles is a fucking joke. It's a joke. Bowles is a really good coach. He's a Super Bowl. By the way, he's got a Super Bowl ring the same way that Vic Fangio does as a coordinator. He was the D coordinator in Tampa when Bruce Arians won the Super Bowl. He was the coordinator. So he's got a ring too. Okay? I mean, this guy's one of the better coordinators in pro football. And he brings that pressure. He disguises it. Jalen Hurts has absolutely struggled with Todd Bowles' way of blitzing. I think they're going to blitz internally, and I think they're going to bring safety pressure from the outside. I do. Now, the key will be this. For me, the key is going to be the health of the O-line. Lane Johnson going into this football game, in my opinion, okay, his health, if that's me and I am Todd Bowles, I'm going to bring pressure on Lane, and I want to move his feet. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move his feet. Now, one last thing here before I give you my prediction. One last thing here. I will say this. Because you guys complaining about the heat, and because you're talking about the heat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run stretch plays at you. And what I'm going to do also is I am going to make sure the number one thing that I do to that football team is I'm going to go up tempo. And I heard that they are going up tempo in this football game against the Philadelphia Eagle defense. They're going to find out what kind of conditioning that you guys are in right away. They're going to find out the conditioning, okay? Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button here, and I appreciate you guys. Steve, Sills, Evans being out also means that Vic can cheat the safety up and have a wide side to help protect against the stretch run, except to see Coop up close to the line of scrimmage and to help. You got Eagles 17-13, okay? Here, let's go here. Senor, won't the Bucs get tired in the first half? Why would the Bucs get tired in the first half? They practice in it. They live in it. They play in it. Why would the Bucs get tired? Why would the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get tired playing in the first half? Why would they get tired? Senor, help me out here. Why would the Bucs get tired in that heat down in Florida? They practice and play in it every day. You're suggesting you're in better shape than them? We're going to find out. Okay? What? Hang on, what? They don't practice running up tempo the whole game. Dude, they're in better shape than you. They live in it. They practice in it. End of story. The problem with the Eagle offense is that Sirianni, Patullo in the front office got their head up their tail while they run at their strength. Absolutely. I mean, seriously, dude. Bucs run up tempo every play. I would. I'm in better shape than you. You're fucking crying about it in Philly all week. You guys are moaning about it. Sitting in saunas. Even Baker Mayfield goofed on you. Bro, whatever. We'll find out Sunday. All right. Here's my prediction. Because Mike Evans is out, and because you guys are concerned about the heat so much, I've got the Eagles 28-26 on Sunday. I think I just think that your will and how you've won games, until the Bucs prove to me that they can beat a team like you right now, because one thing is for sure here, guys. Let's do this with the Buccaneers here. This is a come to Jesus game for them. This is a football game that they have to figure out if they're real or not. Okay? Of course you see a blowout. You haven't blown anybody out, John. How could you see a blowout? John, where in your right mind, okay? Where in your right mind do you see a blowout when they haven't blown anybody out, including the Cowboys? You barely beat them, and the Giants went for 500 yards on you. Well, then I'll tell you what. If you guys think the Bucs are overrated, then so are you. Okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Of course you see a blowout, M. Reyes. Who have you fucking blown out this year? You haven't blown one team out. As a matter of fact, the Rams were kicking your ass. They were kicking your ass. But hey, it's a blowout. Yeah, okay. You guys haven't had one game where you played 4 quarters. But you guys see a blowout, okay? You guys don't see a blowout. Shut up! Thank you. All right. Guys, I appreciate you guys very much. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Thank you again. All right. So I got 28-26. And I think they end up winning this football game. Now, they've got to turn around. Now, I would make this point to you. Okay, if Mike Evans was playing, I would pick the Bucs. But he's not. I'm taking the Eagles in this game. 20. I said it this morning on the Tampa show too. Yeah, that's right, Steve, because you've blown everyone out. You've blown everyone out. You've played poor football. How about this? You've played 2 quarters of football this year, in my opinion. 2 quarters of football, and you're blowing teams out. And you guys are already, get this. Hey, John, and you're fucking more worried about the Heat than you are the Bucs. I got the Bucs because Todd Bowles' defense. Shit. Well, they're 4-1 against you. And Baker Mayfield has a winning record versus you. Hey, Travis, why is that? Why are the Bucs 4-1 in the Sirianni era? Why are the Bucs 4-1? They kicked the shit out of you. Why? Okay, I mean, why? No. Not did, they do. So they're 4-1 versus Jalen also, right? AJ's always hurt. Excuse one. Excuse one. These games don't matter. Okay? The Rams are irrelevant right now. Stay on focus. Why are the Bucs 4-1? Okay? Why? Why are they 4-1? What do you think? Dude, day late, a dollar short. Has nothing to do with our conversation. Injuries. Excuse 2. Excuse 2. Give me another one. Give me another excuse. You guys are going to sit here and make fucking excuses up on why you got beat? Those are excuses. This is the National Football League. Okay? Steve! This is the National Football League. Okay? The Heat? The Heat. Okay? Jesus Christ. Kim! Holy cow. All right. Guys, do me a favor. Why are they 4-1? I'm with you, man. Jesus criminy. It's completely obnoxious. Yes, I am. Now I am. Steve! All right. Why are they 4-1? Why? Bowles, okay? Bowles, okay? Actually, he is. um, actually, he is. Styles make fights. This is a great take right here. Styles make fights. Mismatches are mismatches. The Buck players and schemes are mismatches for the Eagles. Correct. That's the best take so far. Okay? Absolutely. Sills, they're 4-1 because Hurts can't make the read at the line to attack the middle. That is another spectacular take. Okay? Another day, I'll tell you. See, hey, Bob, repost that. Bob just hit on it because Hurts doesn't throw to the middle of the field. That's why they're 4-1. And Bowles knows that. I talked to Todd Bowles about Jalen Hurts. And you want to know what he says about him? Bob, here. I talked to Todd Bowles last night. Sills, they are 4-1 because Hurts can't read at the line to attack the middle. We don't adjust. Todd knows this. This is why he's successful in getting to Hurts and why he's 4-1 and he's 3-1 against Jalen is because they don't throw to the middle of the field and Styles make fights. Mismatches are mismatches. The Bucs players and schemes are mismatches for the Eagles. Absolutely true. Sills, where'd you get the name Stevie from? I don't know. He's a good name. He's a good doggy, man. We love him. Hey, 4-1 is because they don't threaten the middle of the field, and that's why they blitz. Their linebackers don't feel the threat of the tight end threatening the linebackers. I told you earlier, one of the key mismatches in this game is Dallas Goedert versus Levante David and those guys. Absolutely true. They don't let Hurts threaten the middle. If they let Hurts have a if Dallas Goedert had more throws and more targets in this game, I do think they win convincingly. But they won't. Sills, I agree that Bowles will bring Winfield off the edge with late blitzes. Winfield walks up towards the line before the blitzes make sense to rip this. That's right, the seam. When he cheats, that's right, perfect hot read. And they don't throw across the middle because what is that? That's the counter to a blitz off the edge. Absolutely. Jalen Hurts struggles versus the Bucs. You're playing them Sunday. Those other games have no bearing on Sunday. He's lost 1 in the last 20. Funny. I mean, they're 4-1 versus you guys in the Sirianni era. You're playing them Sunday. I'm not talking about the Bengals or the Rams or the Cowboys. We're talking about 1 o'clock Sunday. Steve, what the fuck does that have to do with Sunday? 19-1 has nothing to do with Sunday. Nothing. How are the Eagles going to rush for 200 yards when you've been outrushed pretty much in every game so far this year? This is what happens. He's a good doggy, man. I shouldn't holler at him. I love him. He's a good puppy. I don't believe they're going to change. What games are we watching? Are we wearing the Kelly Green? I don't think the Bucs are wearing the creamsicles in this game. I don't. So if injuries are excuses, why will an injured Buck receiver flip your prediction? Well, because he's not available on Sunday. And I don't believe that not having Mike Evans out there, they're going to win. There's no excuses. They've got to go win. I mean, if Mike Evans were to play, I think they'd win. I'm not giving it an excuse. If they get beat fairly, they get beat fairly. I mean, you don't hear excuses out of me. I won't say this. Well, if the Bucs win, it's because their old line and some of the Cansey's gone and Evans is gone. You won the game, fair and square. Fair and square. Fair and square. Injuries are part of this conversation, my friends. I don't know how you don't think that. You guys think because, listen, you hear people say this. Well, we would have been okay if we had our guys. Fuck that. Fuck that. Hey, nobody was saying that shit last year when you guys lost Jordan Mailata for 4 weeks or Lane for 2 weeks or Devontae Smith lost 3 games and A.J. Brown lost 3 games. You guys manned up and figured it out, and you were able to go out and win, lose some games, still win the Super Bowl. No excuses. Absolutely no excuses. New team, new year. Has nothing to do with a 4-run record. Then your 19-1 has nothing to do with it either. Fair enough. I'll take that. Yeah. 4-1 has nothing to do. 19-1 then has nothing to do. Seals, you attack the blitz left open. You throw it you throw it right wherever you identify where the blitz is coming from. You're right. You throw into the blitz. Okay? So, football, there's no excuses. Now, look, you can have poor coaching. You can have poor coaching decisions. Okay? Cosmo, that's a really great take. Every week is a different, everybody's 1-0 or 0-0. You're right. Okay? 0-0. Well, then 4-1 is a trend. You see what this guy does? 19-1 is a trend. Well, let me ask you, Steve. Is 4-1 a trend? Yes or no? That's right, bud. Reddit can be run on. So according to Steve, he's going to throw 19-1 as a trend. Well, is 4-1 versus you a trend? Yes or no? Watch this. No. All right, Steve. Yes, unfortunately. All right. You're holding to your guns. Hey, Steve. All kidding aside, I do think that 19-1 is a trend. It's the heart of a champion. I do think so. Heard Mayfield has an injured bicep. He does. He was held out of practice the last 2 weeks. My question, how much that affects his throwing motion? And should the D-line hit that arm every chance they get? I would. Absolutely true. They've held him out of practice the last 2 days. So don't be shocked if you see a little Teddy Bridgewater in that game. And boy, if you see a little Teddy Bridgewater in that game, you know the Mayfield injury that he got in Houston is a little bit more significant than the Bucs are leading on. I think he's hurt. And I think he's hurt because he's been tenderized. Dude, he got killed in that Atlanta game. And he got destroyed in that Houston game. I mean, he really got whacked in that Houston game. Not so much in the Jets game. But he got killed in those first 2 ball games. What's an Ertz TD pass to Goddard to pass over the middle? A little bit on the top of the zone. Hey, Coolco, how many times have you seen that play in the last 2 years? 3? I'd like to see more of that. I think that's the key to Bowles' blitzing, is that they don't threaten the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're right. I think Jalen is pissed off at the game plan. I think A.J. Brown is pissed off at the game plan. Smitty's not going to say shit. I think those 2 guys are frustrated. Hey, by the way, when AJ points out that so listen to this. Here's your boy Patullo. I got to tell you, man, this is the first week John and I are on different sides here with this. So John's trying to tell you this, that it's not coaching with Kevin Patullo. Who's responsible for getting the play in on time? Who's responsible for adjusting in game? Quarterback and the play caller. You know what I heard? Jalen Hurts audible 30% of the time in the second half. Has anybody else heard that? He audibled 30% of the time in the second half, which meant what? The plays came in, Jalen called a different play. He audibled out of it. For every 10 plays that was brought into the second half, Jalen audibled out of it. There was like 32% audibles in the second half compared to the first half. What do you think that is? He didn't like what the first half brought, and he started changing plays. That's a great sign. He's fighting the coaches back. That's not going to work, man. We got to go here. And he audibled in the pass plays. This is the first time I've heard this stuff. I checked around and I heard it was over 30%. In the second half, Jalen audibled. Which meant this. Think about that. Every 10 plays that were brought in the second half, Hurts said no to 30% of them. Yeah, no. Almost half. That's how they got back in it. Because I told you, Hurts is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league. They didn't like. Here, figure this out. So the play's not getting in on time. He's getting to the line of scrimmage with 5 seconds. That advantage defense. Then what else? They're not adjusting in time. According to A.J. Brown, when things aren't working, we're not adjusting quick enough. That's inexperience at the play calling. That's inexperience on getting the play in. That's inexperience because the quarterback then has to figure out when he gets to the line of scrimmage, this isn't the play that's working. You're down to 3 seconds before you snap the ball. The thing is out of sequence. The communication, it's not a smooth operation right now. That's their problem. It's self-inflicted because you hired a training wheels coordinator. For the life of me, I don't know. One thing that Kellen brought to the table, whatever you thought of him last year, he's an experienced play caller. He knew to get the play in on time, to give the quarterback more options. Don't you feel if you get the play in on time, that gives the quarterback more options. You get the play in later, and the quarterback has to look for where the blitzes are coming from. And by the way, this is what they're doing to Jalen. Totally. This is what they're doing to Jalen. The play's getting in too late. The D coordinator sees that, right? They're trying to show you, and they're masking where the blitzing is coming from. What did they blitz last week that I heard? 70% of the time on Jalen? So you don't know. The play's in late. You got to figure out where the blitz is coming from. How are you calling audibles? You got to figure out where you're getting killed. And it's been a problem. It's not a clean operation. The Eagle problems, Landon, Lane, Cam Jurgens not playing great. All that's true. Yes. Still, you're so good. You're beating good teams because you really have exceptional players. You've got exceptional players with a below exceptional offensive game plan. That's why the games have been close. You're winning in spite of your coaching. I don't care how anybody sees it. Think about it. Okay, the Buccaneers have an excuse. Do you not agree? Let's just use the word excuse. The Bucs O-line is decimated. They're just getting back worse now. And they're going to be able to put two other guys back. It's still in shambles. Right tackle's gone. Right guard's gone. The entire right side of the offensive line of the Bucs is not the same, right? Okay. You kind of see it. Now, Evans is out. This is for conversation here. I kind of know why they're up and down. Why are you? Why are you guys up and down? I mean, why are you up and down? Why is your offense helter-skelter? What's the reasoning? If John says the 4-1 record, the reason is because of personnel, then why are you wobbling around offensively? You got the same people back. You got the same people back. Goddard's back. Receivers are back. Running back's back. Becton's the only guy not back. And you're telling me you're up and down and every single team that you've played had the ball in their hands to win it in the last possession. Every one of them. No need to force anything in the first 4 games. That was the deal. 4 games to get right. 4 games to get right? Where, in what game do you think you played a complete 60 minutes of football? Get this, folks. You see what Emirates did? The players and the coaches complained all week about where they are. Not him. He doesn't see the game like the players and the coaches do. I don't know what he's talking about. That's not anything those guys talked about all week. Nothing. Get right? That didn't sound like AJ saying about getting right. That had nothing to do with it. Sills, one thing I see defense doing against Jalen is timing his cadence and the play clock down. Get this. They're able to get to the cadence and to kind of go on first sound or second sound, because the longer you get down to, and the play comes in, and you get to the line of scrimmage at 6 seconds, okay? You don't have a lot of time. You've got to look for protection. Do me a favor. Watch the game on Sunday. Keep an eye on this. When does Jalen get to the line of scrimmage? At what time? Is it 10, 12? How many times did Brady used to get to the line of scrimmage with 13, 14 seconds left? Sometimes I've seen him get to the line with 20. You get Brady to the line of scrimmage with 20 seconds, he's going to complete that pass 80% of the time, because he's going to find where the hole is in the secondary. You don't know where the hole is in the secondary with 6 seconds, 10 seconds when you get to the line of scrimmage. The play is not coming in. See this here with Abe? The play's always under 10 seconds. You can barely find where the pressure's coming from. They're really great with up-tempo. Hurts is really good. Hurts is special when he's up-tempo. You guys went up-tempo on the Ravens. You went up-tempo on the Steelers. It really put the game away. I mean, when you do that, you're excellent when he does that. You think the Eagles should bring Brian Dable in if fired? No. Brian Dable? Here's why. James, why do you think they won't bring a guy like Brian Dable in to be the offensive coordinator in Philly? Why would you think that wouldn't be a possibility? Or any experienced coordinator? Rival? No. And what does autonomy mean? That has nothing to do with it. Oh, you're going to give me a great player? Because when you bring a guy in like that, he's going to want to bring his own people in, which means he's going to want to bring his own mentality in and his own philosophy on how to move the sticks. The Eagles are not tolerating that. That's why they hired a guy who was fired twice, Kellen Moore. He was perfect for him. Kellen Moore is either going to be back to being a quarterback coach or a head football coach in the NFL. Dude, he'd been fired from Dallas. And at the end of the day, I mean, he just was released from the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh. We defending a play or win or scoring a play? Pick. We defending a play or win on scoring a play? Rich, hook me up what that means. I'm not sure, man. Sorry, I'm slow on that. Spinning what, douchebag? The issues with the Eagles going up tempo is that the OC has to think quickly and get plays registered in Patullo's head fast enough to deliver back-to-back calls without delay. Hey, Senor, don't you think that also is this? When you go up tempo, you put the hands of the game, or you put the game in the hands of the quarterback and not the coaches. They lose control there, right? Isn't it funny? Every time they go up tempo, the Eagles look great. Because I think it's more the decision-making that Jalen has. Don't you agree, Senor? They lose control of the direction of the offense when they go up tempo. And Jalen has more control of the offense. It's funny, when Jalen has more control of the offense and he's audibling like he did in the second half, the team moves better. I mean, it just moves better here. Rich is asking if you would rather have the Eagles have the ball last trying to score to win, or give Baker the ball and the Eagles D has to have a stop. Great question. Baker Mayfield has done something for the first time in the merger era since 1970. He has won 3 games with less than a minute left in scoring drives. He has been a gamer. I mean it. He's been an absolute gamer the last 3 weeks. And I'll tell you, they found ways. They got back in the game. They gave up a special teams gap. By the way, their special teams are terrible. The Bucs special teams are terrible. They've had issues the last 3 weeks. That's advantage Eagles. Terrible special teams. Might see another blocked field goal in this game. I mean, right? I mean, to answer this question, I think if the game is in both guys' hands, both are capable of winning it. But because you have AJ and Devontae, and they don't have Mike Evans, I'd rather have Jalen have the ball to win a game. Because I don't think the Bucs have enough talent on that side to win the game. So I would take Hurts to win the game. If it comes down to last possession and they had to score to win, Hurts is going to get it done. I don't know if Mayfield gets it done. He's done it the last 3 weeks, though. But they're inferior opponents to what you guys have played. Seals, late to the line might also be why Barkley has his head on a swivel when it's not getting the ball. You're talking about in pass protection and not knowing where the blitzes are coming from. He has been terrible at pass protection so far this year. Terrible. Okay? What the fuck are you talking about? Be relevant and say what I'm spinning. Dude, what are you talking about? You say shit and you have no context to it. Put it out there. Let's see what I'm spinning. Fucking idiot. I mean, dude. What are you talking about? What spinning shit around here on Fridays? What are you talking about? M. Reyes' bullshit takes? If you're going to say that I'm spinning something, have context. Sills, I would attack the Bucs linebackers with slants and AJ and Goddard. The Bucs linebackers are terrible in pass coverage. They're just terrible. You're right. Again, you're right. All that shit, you're right, Senor. Senor's my boy here. Okay? Sills, playing Tampa is perfect setup for Jalen and AJ to freelance. Play AJ in the slot and attack Winfield and David. I wouldn't attack Winfield. Winfield is the second-rated safety in pro football right now. Okay? Did the Eagles sign or bring players up from the practice squad to replace their injured players like Nolan? I'll get more on that when Xander comes on at the bottom of the hour at 3:30 Eastern time, okay? Good. I want Crosses and Goddard over. Dude, I'm thinking right now that Goddard, if they really want to make this game a no game, you get Goddard in this game, and I don't think the Buccaneers have a linebacker that can cover the guy. Dude, they're two linebackers. Let me get their people. Let me get their – hey, by the way, I told Todd Bowles, and we were texting back and forth. I told Todd, I don't think you have a linebacker that can cover Goddard. He goes, well, they don't go to him. I go, yeah, well, I agree. They don't go to him. So, yeah, man, that dude struggles at pass protection. Or excuse me, he struggles in pass coverage. I mean, it's a complete mismatch. Sills, would you like Davis in the middle and Carter on the edge? No. Well, but remember something, Joe. That means he's got to run more if he's going to play out there on the edge. Like in old Milton Williams' spot, the end. That means he's got to run more. It'll be good to have AJ and Smitty and Lane this year versus our situation without them last year. Sure. Seals, working for the ops this weekend? Working for the ops this weekend? What you mean? Hurts always throws to Goddard. He does? He always throws to Goddard. Well, let's take a look at that. He always throws to Goddard. Is that what you're saying? So let's see how many targets Dallas Goedert's got. He's missed time. He's played in 2 games. In 2 games, he's got 8 receptions, 4 catches. That's not terrible. 77 yards, and then he's missed a game. And, of course, he's been banged up. But, I mean, let's see what Dallas Goedert has had in his career. When you look at the receptions that he's had in his career, they've never really been. He's never been a 70-catch guy, has he? No, here. 58, 46, 56, 55, 59, 42. I mean, dude. These tight ends today have over 100 catches. He has half the numbers that any tight end in today's NFL. He's got half the numbers. And he's a good player. False? I just read you his numbers. He needs to get more involved. I think that's more to do with Nick. Seals, did you notice Vic putting Carter the five technique a few times this year? Thoughts on that? Yeah, because Moro Jomo's not giving you what you need. He's not replaced Milton Williams. Moro Ajomo The more reps Moro Ajomo gets, the less productive he would be. I warned you guys on this. Many people believe that if you get the starting job, you think that because you saw a guy in a limited role have some production and be productive, that common sense would tell you they're going to have more stats and more tackles and sacks. That's not the case. The more reps you have, the less production you traditionally have until you get your body worked up into knowing how to play 70 to 90% of the plays. I mean, because you play more, look at what happened with Bryce Huff. You see what they're doing in San Francisco? They're limiting him and putting him in positions where, and Robert Saleh knows how to use him. That guy's not going to see over 500 snaps. They're going to put him around 450, 435, somewhere in there, and he's going to be overly productive there. The Eagles were trying to put that guy in an 800 snap count. That guy was never going to be productive here. The system doesn't fit him. You've got to set the edge here. And, hey, Bryce Huff having success in San Francisco, that's because he fits Robert Saleh's technique. Here, the edge rushers have to set the edge. Then if you're a pass rusher, great. The pass rusher is the cherry on top of the cake. If you can't set the edge in Philly, you can't play. Seals, you really need to do a Game Time live stream. It would be fun watching a game with you and get your takes real time. Yeah, I've heard that a lot, man. I told these people Hunt ain't it. Now, I think there's something there with Hunt, though. I did, but I never thought he was going to replace Josh Sweat. Then again, I never thought Nolan Smith would. Nolan Smith's a good football player. He's proven he is. But he hasn't proven me wrong on this. I don't believe he's a healthy guy. He's just not built for the league. Or how about this? He's not built for every down football. I think you've got to specialize him. When he comes back, he can't be your starting edge. He'll be in the same position he was again. Being hurt, shoulder, bicep, what have you. Okay? Right? Sills, make sure you watch Carter between plays holding his arm. I've seen this. There's a nagging injury there. I'll concede that. That's not an excuse. It's part of the game. I got it. Guys are always hurt like that. I'd rather watch you, Sue. Thank you. Appreciate that. Seals, if you attack Winfield, he can't blitz. Okay? Tell you what, he's playing great football again. Listen, Anton Whitfield is a fucking great player. You have nothing like him. I would say this. He's probably the second best safety in football next to Kyle Hamilton. You're going to be playing against the best. Here, Vita Vea is probably, as a nose, third best nose. Winfield's the second best safety. And I would throw this at you too here. If you go back and you look at, you guys asked me a question on their corners, where they are. Let's see here. On their corners, Dean had a good game. They made him take an $8 million pay cut. All right. And McCollum, I don't think they're great. I don't. And this Benjamin Morrison kid, I think they want him to eventually take the starting job, but I don't think he's ready yet. Off topic, OU on game day being in Tallahassee in 2 weeks. Canes and FSU, baby. And by the way, there's a report that Lee Corsel's showing up. He went to school at FSU. It's true. They're going to be in Gainesville. I think game day is I think it's in Happy Valley this week, right? I think it's Penn State, Oregon. I think it's at Penn State. Hey, what do you think what's the over under that Game Day doesn't mention Paterno? Or Paternoville? What do you think the over under is? That they won't mention Paterno. Well, I bring that up all the time, too. Joe Paterno built Penn State. James Franklin is a tool as a coach. It's terrible. They don't bring Joe Paterno up. They never bring Joe Pa up. Game Day doesn't bring that shit up, man. Dude, told you before, Joe Paterno is one of the most important college football coaches in the history of football. No getting around it. Okay? No getting around it. I'll tell you something, Lamar. Joe Paterno was terrible for the decisions that he made by allowing Jerry Sandusky on the property and in the premises and in the locker room, for sure. He wasn't the sexual predator. Let's always remember that.